When you think back to your career at K-State, what comes to mind? If I ask you, what do you remember most about your K-State career?
What I remember most, I would have to say just the guys, the relationships I made with my teammates, with my coaches, and living in Manhattan. So great period of my life.
Who are you tightest with from your playing days at K-State?
Tyson Hartman, really close with, Carson Kaufman, Jaron Mastrud, and so John Hulick. The last guys I mentioned were all my dorm mates and roommates during my time there.
Josh Freeman is talking with us here. I can remember, as a K-State fan, being unreasonably excited when you switched your commitment from Nebraska to K-State. What was it that Ron Prince was able to sell you on that got you to switch your commitment back then?
That was an opportunity to compete and to play. Obviously, I had a lot of confidence in my talent, and Nebraska, just during the whole recruitment process, they were saying, all right, you'll get a chance to compete. We're not going to bring in any other guys. And then once it actually came time to, because I graduated early, to leave, the conversation kind of switched to redshirt, and they were going to bring in another guy. And so it was more or less just, I felt comfortable with the situation at K-State. Felt comfortable going in and playing under Coach Prince, and we had a lot of pro-style experience in coaching. He coached some guys that were able to go on and play in the NFL, and that kind of sold it for me.
Now, obviously, K-State fans have a lot of mixed feelings and emotions about Ron Prince. How do you feel about Ron Prince these days?
Oh, I like him. I actually spoke with him earlier today. He told me he's living out in Indiana. Ron Prince is a guy that there's not a whole lot of middle ground. It's either you love him or you don't love him. So I've got a good relationship with him, and just kept up with him over the years. His family, he's a good guy.
Josh Freeman talking with us on the game. I always try and make the case that K-State fans don't appreciate you enough, or at least have forgotten about you too much because of the era that you did play in. And I've heard this sentiment from guys that played under Ron Prince that, hey, because that era was not as successful as the Bill Snyder era, we get forgotten a little bit. How much of that sentiment do you feel personally?
I guess some guys can make a pretty good argument for that. I don't necessarily feel that way. It was a different time, obviously. Coach Snyder and the things he did were so great for the university and for the football program, and he did it for so long. And not playing under him, you kind of guys, it's just a different time. You know what I mean? It was 3 year short-lived period. Like you said, we weren't able to put up as many wins as we would have liked to. All right, so I can see guys feeling like they're frustrated with that. But a lot of guys played for both coaches. I know, like Reggie Walker, Ian Candle, guys I'm pretty close with. In all honesty, we just didn't produce like we really would have wanted to.
Would you want to be back at games, more visible with the program, especially now that Chris Kleiman's the head coach, who seems a little more open to some stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. When my schedule allows it, I'd try to get out to Manhattan as often as I can. I've been talking to Tyson Hartman. I'm going to go to a few games with him this year. Then I've got a bunch of other buddies who make the trek up to Manhattan every time there's a home game. So, in the near future, especially this year and years to come, I plan on making a lot more appearances in Manhattan.
Well, I think you obviously made the right move to leave when you did. Being a first-round draft pick, you made almost $30 million in salary in your NFL career. Was there ever any thought, though, to sticking around for your senior year when the coaching change happened? What was going through your mind at that time?
Yeah, I definitely weighed, every option, sticking around. Anytime you get a chance to play for a legendary coach like Bill Snyder, you have to at least give it some time and some consideration. And talking with him, one of my main concerns was, the style of offense we'd be running, because I got pretty well versed at running the pro style offense, and he was willing to, he was open to hearing that, and I think he was going to keep Dave Brock, who was then our offensive coordinator, around, and let him to continue to call plays. But before the draft, I got just the pre-evaluation. I got a first, high second round grade, and I mean that was enough giving the reassurance to step on out.
Josh Freeman talking with us. What was the toughest moment of your K-State career?
The toughest moment, I'd say, we've got a number of tough losses. I think the more memorable ones were KU at home. It was really a frustrating one. Never quite getting over that hump. We put up numbers. We scored a lot of points. We just couldn't get over that hurdle to be competitive and get in the national spotlight.
Josh Freeman chatting with us here. How much did you were the big man on campus when you were in college, and I can remember this. I was a student at the same time that you were. Like, how much did you take advantage of that and really live it up while you were here in Manhattan?
We had some good times, especially during spring bowl when things aren't maybe a little more lax. But I wouldn't say any more than any other college kid, but we definitely ran around and had a good time when I was there.
Where was the spot? Where was your favorite spot while you were here?
I wasn't even 21. Like, I hadn't turned 21 the whole time I was there. I was training for the draft when I turned 21. So I guess anywhere that would let us in.
Love that answer. Hey, I asked this. I asked this because I remember this being like a rumor at the time, that KU game in 2007, it was like an 11 a.m. kickoff, and all these people were blaming the loss on whatever they could. Hey, Freeman was out partying too much the night before. Did it ever become too much at that point in time?
No. That's actually funny that I remember that, actually, because they're pretty strict on the lockdown before games. Because we have we check into a hotel, we have meetings most of the evening, have a chapel, have a team dinner, a team snack, and then it's lights out. And we would take a bus from the facility, and we go to the hotel. And once we kind of start the routine, there's no leaving. So I thought it kind of comical, actually, that people thought I was out, partying before the game, but. Like I said, they're going to blame it on something. And it could have been my brother. He had the same haircut as me, and I don't know. He might have been out, but it never really bothered me because there was no real merit to it.
How do you remember your NFL career? What is your? Let me ask you this: what is your best moment from your NFL career in your eyes?
Man, that's tough. And we had a pretty good run in 2010 with just a lot of young guys. And I think we started 10 or 11 rookies throughout the season, and we were able to, compete with a bunch of teams, win a lot of these big games. And it was really just a really tight-knit group. So we had, the year before was Raheem Morris's first year, and I didn't start, I don't think, till week 9. We hadn't won a game, and we got a little bit of momentum going into the off season. And then 2010, we were able to, carry that into, a number of wins. But it was before the collective bargaining agreement. So when it came to salary cap, the Buccaneers were one of the lowest paying teams. So they got rid of a bunch of older, high dollar players and replaced them with a bunch of young guys. And we were still able to go out and compete with the likes of, Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, and a bunch of other teams in the NFL.
Josh Freeman talking with us. Josh, before I let you go, one last question here. I always try and get this answer out of people. Did the coaches really have to run the stairs after the Louisville game? The offense didn't have to run, so we were home in bed. So I'm not sure. There might be some truth to that, but I was not privy to bear witness to whatever happened out there. But I know a lot of people were angry the next day. So.